NBA episode of The Huddle here. Ninja with John Henson, of course, and Chris Walder. Guys, I want to talk about that ESPN article that came out earlier this week. Shams basically reporting some big names potentially going to be made available come trade deadline season, of course. And we'll talk about that momentarily. But first, I got to talk about LeBron James. Brian Windhorst supposedly reporting that the Golden State Warriors are eyeing up LeBron James to add to the team. John, I will start with you here. Is this something that you would want to see? LeBron James, Steph Curry teaming up in the league and pushing for a ring together. Do you want to see this happen?
No, I would love to see a LeBron Steph Curry team. However, it's just, what would the Warriors or Lakers, what would you have to give up to get LeBron? Is it worth the small amount of time that Steph and LeBron are going to be together? I know they're in the twilight of their careers. They both look still like high-level players, but I just, don't know if it would just be smart, man. Like, we're going to get to see them together maybe a year or two. So, oh, sure, I would love that. As a basketball fan, that would be awesome. Two of the greatest players of our generation, by far, teaming up at the end of their careers would be awesome, but also I just can't see that happening, man. It's I think the Warriors would have to give up too much for too little.
Chris, Golden State, 5th in the West, 14-9. Is adding LeBron the answer to sort of closing that gap to the Oklahoma City Thunders of the world?
I would say no. I mean, we're getting a little bit carried away here because LeBron James does have a no trade clause in his contract, and it does seem like he does want to end his career with the Los Angeles Lakers. I know the Warriors aren't exactly far away. If he does have any off the court happenings, with his movie production team or any, activities in that regard, he's not going far anyway. So it would actually be convenient to play for the Warriors. But at the same time, I don't think this type of move moves the needle in the Western Conference. We saw Curry and LeBron team up in Paris for the Olympic Games, how dominant they were together. And just aesthetically, from a basketball standpoint, sure, why wouldn't you want to see probably the greatest small forward and the greatest point guard in NBA history team up to close their careers? But John hit the nail on the head. Like, Golden State would have to mortgage their future to get 1, maybe 2 years out of 2 aging superstars, albeit 2 superstars who are still putting up insanely credible numbers. Like, is it worth getting rid of Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, Brandon Podziemski, like all these guys that you're looking to say this is the core of the team for the next 4 to 5 years, just to trot out LeBron and Curry out there and get a few extra eyeballs on your franchise? Like, it just doesn't make sense if you are trying to fight for a title, because even this year, I wouldn't expect Golden State to be that much better than they currently are.
Let me ask you this. Hypothetically, if the trade happens, does the chemistry now work with LeBron in the mix? And some of those young players, Chris, that you mentioned, coming gone. Does that chemistry work?
Yeah, the chemistry would be fine because LeBron and Curry are good friends. LeBron and Draymond Green are good friends. I mean, from a chemistry standpoint, you're bringing in one of the best playmakers in basketball, albeit someone who's turning 40 years old in a couple of weeks. He's an aging superstar, but he's one of the top assist guys in all of basketball. And I think he kind of knows at this stage of his career, he shouldn't be the number one guy. And if he wants to share that role with Stephen Curry, that's completely fine. But again, getting rid of all of these young pieces, what exactly are you left over with? The whole point of LeBron James, especially in LA, they want to sit him. He wants to play 82 games, but his team, his head coach, his general manager does not want him to be out there as often as he is. If he goes to Golden State, who exactly are backing up Curry, Draymond, and LeBron James in this lineup? They're going to have to play heavy minutes to keep Golden State competitive, and that is not a formula for success.